Hi everyone. Well, hey, guess what? We're back here again, and we're going to give it an interesting try here because I got a video here that's been requested, and it's called "What is your soul's purpose in being here?" And you know, I've attempted on two other occasions to do this video, and both times I deleted them, and I deleted them because I felt I didn't reach the right perspective of expressing and explaining it that would allow people to be able to digest the information through having an open mind that's not completely in a defensive mode in dealing with such a topic. It is a rather challenging topic because you could go too far on one side or not enough on the other. And the idea of giving information is not to upset people, but to, but apparently I'm told I do. And that's a good thing. I hope I continue that pattern diligently of upsetting people because upset people usually will stop and think and later on may change their perspective and drop a belief system. Maybe. Anyways, so what's happened is in doing this video, I wanted to discuss first of all the soul thing. And here again is where you have a lot of belief systems that are very deeply and rigidly embedded in a lot of people. And I, at one time, was probably like the majority of people out there, and even in the spiritual community, who was very much attached to the belief system of you have a soul, even though the soul is more or less a nebulous statement to us. We don't really know what it is. Okay, it's never been proven that it exists, and it's never been proven that it doesn't. What we do know up to this point is we do have a second body or an astral body, which could constitute a portion or a reflection of that particular soul. And what we also know is that second body is within the physical body. And even in that particular body, there's an additional body. So there's like three bodies within the physical body at the same time. So it kind of blows the theory all to hell that, you know, your soul is simply you in a physical body. Because a lot of people still have that concept that your soul only has one vehicle or one expression of itself and it manifests through you. Um, so if you get all that soul power at the top and you are here and life is not going that well or great at the moment, then something is amiss. So perhaps sitting and listening to this video and leaving yourself open for the possibility that I might say something that may give you the opportunity to reflect or contemplate or perhaps review what you have perceived as being reality. So let me look at it from this concept. When people say, what is my soul's purpose? This is what they want to know. They want to know what are all of the positive, creative things that is the outcome of their soul, because they believe this in spite of what's happening around us. They believe that the only thing that your soul really wants for you to experience is positive creative developments of talents, abilities, and things that can give you recognition, fame, make you more money, or some special or unique talent that is going to give you that same thing. That's what most people want to know when it comes to their soul, uh, um, creative abilities of their soul or their soul's purpose. Excuse me, I lost the word because sometimes what happens is it comes faster than I can spit it out. All right. And yeah, if any of you can see the mechanics, you'll see the energy flow going up and down and the dialogue going in between. For those of you who can see, and you'll see my energy field expand really around me, kind of thing. And that means I'm using a good portion of the total part of the soul, which is an androgynous multidimensional aspect of consciousness expressing through a limited vehicle in three-dimensional reality. Pretty simple. Nothing complicated about that. Not rocket science. All right. So this is what people really want to know when they want to know what their soul's purpose is. However, yes, however, what does that do to all of the other stuff that people experience that's not positive, creative, or beyond what they think? Like, nobody is going to, hey, let's be honest here, okay? Nobody in their right frigging mind, okay, in this world, especially in the spiritual community, is going to actually consider, would they, that somebody would come in here in physical reality to be sexually abused as a child? I mean, that's impossible. No soul would be that stupid, would they? I mean, would a soul come in and want to experience living a life of misfortune, uh, a lack of? Would a soul want to come in and actually want to experience a dysfunctional physical disability? Or would they want to come in and experience some sort of mental disorder? Well, that's impossible, okay? Because in 3D reality, that's exactly what we feel. We automatically assume when you go to see a psychic or a channeler or a mystic, or you're going to see one of those teapot and card ladies, all right? This is what you want to hear. All you want to hear is the good stuff. All right? If there's anything in there that's negative or dysfunctional, we don't want to hear that. Okay? You want to hear that? Got to avoid that shit. Because we just want the goodies. And it's the same thing with everybody else. Why? Because many of us are so deeply ingrained. What is the soul's purpose? All right? And I hear this all the time from twin flames. They want to know their mission. Okay? And you know what? They think the same thing. It's amazing how locked in to limited function of consciousness we all are. And this even includes the twin flame community and the spiritual community. Because what does a twin flame want to know? What's their mission? If they're mission oriented. All right? And they automatically assume it's all kinds of good things that are coming. Creative, where they're going to be of service and people are going to be after them. They're going to be doing this, they're going to be doing that. You know, it's really funny because I don't think sometimes you people actually listen to anything that I say. Because I did a video, I think 5, 6 years ago. And I did a video called The Mission Begins in Childhood. And you take on all of those dysfunctional patterns and this and that and sexuality, abuse and crap and everything shit that you go through. But of course, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear the good stuff. But you know what? From my perspective over here, when your consciousness is above 3D limitations of thought patterns and belief systems, you can look back here. And this is where I differ with a lot of people. When I look back on my life, abandoned 3 times, children's aids and foster homes. I was on my own when I was 15. I didn't have a teenage life. I had to learn how to survive. And then I had to learn how to maintain some kind of food intake. I never had my teenage years till I was in the 30s. All right? Oh, poor me. Oh, poor little heart dying. Oh, you poor little darling. You've been victimized by your parents, and oh, you've been brutalized, and you've been this, and you've been that. Oh, you poor little darling. Oh, please, give me a break. I chose it. I selected it. I picked the 2 assholes I had for parents. I did. And you know what? My father used to have this neat habit he used to do. He used to walk up behind me, and for no reason, he hit me on the back of the head and knocked me on the floor. And then when I fell down, he'd say, well, that's for nothing, stupid. Now do something. And you know what? I did exactly what he said. That's how ridiculously programmed we are. When I grew up and I get to be 20, I thought I was stupid. And you know what? That's how I discovered my soul purpose. Because in that limited perspective of experiencing abuse, belittlement, all right, living in an alcoholic family, I learned things. I experienced things. And I look back on that now, and I see that just as positive, just as creative as all of the good creative things that I'm doing now. I don't see any difference. The only difference is it's the same energy, it's the same soul energy, just different avenues of expression. The experience over here, this is just for me now because most of you will think I'm nuts, is far more valuable over here in the shit, the brindle, the chaos, the beatings, the abandonment, the abuse, was far more beneficial teaching, learning, than what I'm doing now of being of service to people. But again, that's me. I'm a weird puppy. Or am I? All right. So somebody said back then, I said, well, Mel, are you telling me that all this shit that I went through and this is a good thing and I chose it? No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you, I'm just telling you what I'm doing and how I've discovered my soul's purpose. My soul's purpose encompasses everything. And I'll tell you something, once I realized, all right, over here, where all this caca-poo-poo shit's going on in my life, once I took a good look at it, and I realized I get off the pity party train. You know what the pity party train is? Oh, poor me, I got so much resentment, I got so much anger, I got so much depression. Oh, my body doesn't work anymore because my life was sucked, my parents were bad, blah, 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 blah. I got so goddamn tired of feeling sorry for myself and pity partying. Okay, I'm trying to drink myself into oblivion because I was suffering as a victim. Oh, God, how I love being a victim. I love it. And nothing I love it more because if I didn't be a victim, I wouldn't goddamn well be over here today. So I don't even see myself as a victim anymore. I'm a recipient of a gift. Now, that's a weird way of looking at things. Did you feel the spark? Huh? Did you feel it? A lot of you felt the energy surge through me. And you know what? I'll tell you something, folks. When I turn on the burn, most of you would have to leave the room. I just keep it subdued at a slow simmer. All right? Soon, I'm really going to turn on the burn. I'm really going to turn it on. As an example. So if you take a look at it from this perspective, what is your soul's purpose? It encompasses everything. So when you raise yourself up above your limited perspective of belief systems that maintain you in a limited state of consciousness, you have something. It's called vision. Most people on this planet at this point can't see any further than this and about that far. Most people on this planet at this point are totally hooked in to another holding template. Relationships. That's all they care about. Relationships. Limited, three-dimensional relationships, encompassing all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And they maintain it week after week, month after month. And the misery piles on. Or they discover what I've discovered, that all of this over here gets you to this over here. All right. You know, it's funny, I watch television and I watch our local pontificator across the pond in the US. And I watch the fear mongering that's going on. All right. Especially, I was sitting the other night, I'm watching this about the immigrants coming. And he's got 15,000 soldiers, and if they throw rocks at them, their soldiers are going to have guns. Oh boy. You know, there's a man who knows how to work the chakra system, I'll tell you. Okay, that guy is definitely solar plexus consciousness and not going any higher than that. All right. But then again, he serves a valuable purpose. Some people are catching on to what's going on, and they're realizing, all right, that they can direct and flow their own soul's purpose. They don't need somebody else to do it for them. All right. So the next time, you know, you're having a situation where it's negative, dysfunctional, and everything else, remember, the great American dream has been painted on happiness, well-being, fame, fortune, and everything for everybody. All right. And that's what everybody rushes to keep achieving. And when they don't get there, they blame this, that, or other thing, or their circumstances, or their life, or their race, their color, their society, whatever, for not being able to achieve it. And the reason they don't achieve it is because they don't know what they're doing when they get to this part of their creative soul experience that's deemed negative, dysfunctional, or whatever. And then we have other people in our society, call them professionals, who call these people over here that have this happened to them as being victims. All right? Like me with my father, he kept hitting me in the back of the head, and when I fall down, he says, that's for nothing, stupid, now do something. I did exactly what he wanted. And you know what? These people over here are doing exactly what other people wanted. So they're not fulfilling their soul's purpose by experiencing what they need to experience, but having someone there to nurture them through without turning them into a victim. And when you have somebody, and this is what happened to me, I didn't have, when I was 15, 16 and on my own, I didn't have professional counseling, thank God. I didn't have any psychiatrist, and I didn't have any kind of teenage counselor or anything. I had to work it out on my own. And somebody said, well, why would you want to do that? Why would I not? Take a look around you. Some of the counselors and professionals that are helping out people are even worse shape than you are. Look at the actors and movie stars who have achieved all of that recognition and fame, where everybody wants to go, everybody wants the money, everybody wants all of that stuff that they have. Live the dream. America's got talent. So have Canada. So what? Everybody's got talent. And the talent begins all through every experience that you have. It's what you do with it that is your soul's purpose. So what I'm suggesting to people is consider the idea of viewing the circumstances in your life a little differently and not segregating your soul's purpose to just positive, creative things as you deem them by the dictates of society, who says that this dictates you are successful, creative, and you are a winner, and this part over here happens to you, you're a loser. Because you can't get to this part until you win over here what's designated as being a loser. And how do you do that? You do that by awareness, understanding, openness, and realizing that everything that happens to your life is something that you've chosen on your pathway. There's no particular thing that happens to you by random chance. All right? If you walk out and get hit by a bus, that's an accident? No, it's not. Perfectly explainable. There are mechanics to everything. There's no such thing as an accident. They don't exist. When you have people emanating energies, and look at it this way, everyone on this planet emanates a field of energy. All right? The field of energy that you emanate or radiate is in direct relationship to mind or consciousness that exists within you. Everyone's consciousness or mind is not all on the same frequency or on the same page. And it's not, I might add, all in the same developmental stage, because that's what we're in. The developmental stages of expressing higher states of consciousness. So in order for that to happen, we need to broaden our understanding, detach from the system that has been perpetuating the belief systems as they are. Example, your soul has only one vehicle of you. That's the body that you live in, which is horseshit. All right? And the other thing is reincarnation, which is also horseshit. It doesn't exist. It only exists because some people still have a belief system that this is reality. And imagine this, the reincarnation theory has been started by religious organizations hundreds, if not thousands of years ago. And it's kept going and going and going and going. And a lot of people in this reality right now have a really hard time letting go of it. All right? I notice every time that I do a video now, I'm getting a Bible thumper in there or two, one or two. All right? And that's cool. They gotta have some place to thump. I mean, you got Trump and he's got a bump, and you know, a Bible thumper got a thump. A thump and a trump. A thump, trump, a thump, trump. Okay? It's a cool idea. And I get it. So, defensive belief systems within yourself, broaden your vision and stop seeing yourself as a victim. All right? See yourself as the recipient of all of the ingredients everywhere in your life as being the potential for development of consciousness, which is the most important soul purpose in being here. In my opinion, number uno, that's one, okay, in being here is to develop consciousness and to return to your point of origin and to not get caught in the belief system realities in the astral planes. Because I'm going to tell you something that's happened, all right? Because the system is working so well, good many of you are simply recycling, lifeline after lifeline, because you don't know any better. All right? So as you begin to let go of your belief systems, your mind and your consciousness can expand, and then you're in a position where you don't see your life as being what it is and what went on. All right? And some people will say, well, you know, are you telling me that people really place themselves in situations where they're going to be tortured and mutilated? I can't answer that question. But I'm going to tell you something. I've seen some souls on this planet who have chosen some pretty crazy antics for their soul's purpose that border on desperation. I mean, I recently saw a guy, and this was on TV, okay? And this was a really intelligent move, by the way. There's definitely, his soul's got his soul really needs to take a look at things. Jumped on a moose in the middle of the lake and rode the moose to shore. And I can't say only in the USA this time because I believe it happened in Canada. So, hey, you can be just as dumb here as you can there, all right? So, oh, I'm not allowed to use that word, okay? Dumb or stupid. And I'm not allowed to appear like I'm judging people, all right? Here's another belief system. Here's another pattern, all right, of eliminating now what I call in the spiritual community the deacons and the pinnacles of this particular society, this ritual cult church that has evolved in the spiritual community at this particular point in time, that have become so ingrained in their limited perspective of consciousness, all right, they've now created a whole pile of rules and a system of their own, and they keep regurgitating. So what I'm seeing also is, this is really neat. We have the reality belief systems that people keep recycling, and they never get it. And we never get it here on this planet either. Everything that's created in the spiritual plane, everything that's created, okay, angels, ascended masters, lower entities, thought forms, every place that you go after you die and you're there with your beloved or whatever the hell you want to call her, him or her, and you stay there for the rest of your life. Where do you think it's all created? It just happened? No, it got created here by limited perspectives of consciousness retained when that individual leaves the physical vehicle. They take all of these packages with them and they go to the particular belief system reality where their consciousness gets to express without a physical body. And then they got to come back and keep redoing and redoing to evolve consciousness. That's what we're here for. That's the only purpose in being here. For the evolution of the soul, all right, everything else is just tools and things to get you there. Now, I'm at the later stage in my life, all right? And we have a whole generation coming up of 20s and 30 years old who think they know it all right? We got blue rays and pink rays and bobble boops and you name it, we got titles and ranks coming out of our earballs, all right? So this is kind of an interesting situation here. Think about what I've said, all right? Because it's important. Just a little review here. All of the dramatic situations in your life, the intense, the whatever, the negativity, think about it for a moment. The dysfunctional things that have happened to you, all right? And look at it from the perspective of it's that part that gets you to your soul's purpose, that you see it in a literal sense of the word. But this is your soul's purpose here that you're experiencing. That's what it came for. But it came for that to develop this to get there. It's called forward motion, okay? Not backward. So what happens is when you have a whole pile of individuals who experience their positive creative expression that they want to experience initially in the beginning, which is deemed by three linear consciousness as being negative, then what happens is they actually reprogram themselves because they take on this belief system that in order to find out what your soul's purpose is, your soul's purpose has to be, it's got to be, it has to be, it got to be, it got to be, it has to be. It has to be positive, creative things, and that's all you want to hear. If you came to me for a reading and higher self John said to you, well, you chose to come in here and be abused by your father, you'd get up and walk out the room, wouldn't you? You would. 99% of you would get up and walk out of the room and say I'm a fake or a flop or whatever else. You'd do that. But think about it. Think about it. That's the challenge. Many people want to, and I'm going to do this video very shortly too, they want to get to the balance of the masculine and feminine within themselves, be they male or female. This part over here that you view from a linear three-dimensional point of consciousness is deemed negative. Is it not? Watch it, Mel's sneaky. And then this part over here that is positive, creative, and functional and creates all of those wonderful things, this is positive, is it not? Here it comes, folks. Here's the big whammy. So here's the negative, here's the positive. Do it! Together. Are you getting it now? Have a great day, everyone. Love you all to death.